Trevor Lawrence signs a 5-year, $275 million extension. Looking at average annual value, $55 million, puts him tied with Joe Burrow for tops in the league, followed by Goff, Herbert, Lamar, and then finally Jalen Hurts. The deal puts him under contract for 7 more years. Nick, your reaction?
Well, I mean, I must harken back to, I mean, of course it's a classic one, but that's not the point here. It's not about who was right. It's far more about who was wrong and the worst show we've ever done, which was March 11th, 2024. It should have been a glorious day. It was the day that we found out Mac Jones had been traded to the Jags. And instead of discussing that, it turned into, well, it turned into this. Can we play it, please?
I'm surprised you're so confident. The idea that there's this gulf between Trevor Lawrence and Mac Jones, I think is I don't think people have looked at the numbers.
You guys are out of your mind.
I'm not saying, I'm just saying he makes an interesting
He doesn't make any interesting points.
There's a chance
that is
outside of injury that if this guy, I don't know, throws 4 interceptions in a half or loses 5 straight games to boot us out of the playoffs, maybe we look in another direction before we make a $200 million investment.
What will both of you say about this disaster of a segment we've just done when Trevor Lawrence signs his contract before the next game is played?
If they do that, then clearly Wilds' theory is wrong.
Well, and Brew, good job there. And Brew, good job there putting it on him. So Wilds,
no, I never co-signed what he said. I just said he makes some decent points.
Wilds, I would like an apology, but I'm not the only one who wants an apology.
Who?
I mean, you know who.
Oh.
You know who.
How did this happen?
You know who. You know who.
I cannot believe it.
Y'all did a good job of keeping that secret.
I usually know about all this stuff.
You know who wants an apology. Our viewers, Trevor, these fine gentlemen,
good to see the guy,
and me.
I have seen, gentlemen, thank you as always. Yeah, I have seen you now 10 times in the last 8 months. Some of my dear friends I haven't seen as much as you guys.
So do you have something to say to all of us?
So, look, I apologize to who am I apologizing to?
Well,
you?
The three of us.
I apologize to all of you guys for thinking, perhaps erroneously, that the gap between Mac Jones, one of my favorite players, and Trevor Lawrence was small.
Turns out it's $270 million.
Well, I don't know. Can I ask Brew a question?
You're going to show numbers.
I'm not showing any numbers. I'm not showing any blind resumes.
Yeah, go ahead.
The internet is just bubbling with blind resumes. It's every quarterback. Wow, Gardner Minshew's that good, huh? I'm just saying that, and I don't want it. It's not a Mac Jones segment.
I would hope not.
But you would have the Steelers at #1, and the gap between the starter and the backup. Steelers would be #1. There's a real QB controversy here. Small. Right? Yeah. Maybe the Giants are #2. Right? It's Drew Lock, Daniel Jones. Oh, #3, I don't know.
I don't know. The Colts are probably up there. The Broncos are probably up there.
The Colts?
The Seahawks are probably up there.
What, you don't like Anthony Richardson?
No, the gap. Once you get past the Mahomes-Allen gap, it doesn't get much wider than Trevor and Mac.
He's had a great 2 seasons. Let's look at the numbers.
Oh, so here are the numbers. Here we go. I knew the numbers were coming, but that's fine.
What are we talking about?
Go ahead.
Who had a great 2 seasons?
Trevor Lawrence. 13th, that's above average. 11th in completion percentage.
I'm surprised as that happened.
And I took out the rookie year. Yeah. These are all solid numbers. Now,
they're average.
Brew.
Hold on. Can I ask you a question, Wilds? Since you're a quarterback wins guy?
Yeah.
So that's 17 wins, right? The 4 years prior to that, they were 15-50. And the fact that this team, because the numbers that I think are far more are what he did from when the light bulb turned on for him until what he did when he suffered 3 consecutive injuries, which we can show you. It's not an unfair sample. It's when the winning.
I
mean, it ends
over 2 different seasons.
Hold on, right? It's a stretch of ball that ends at a moment. And I just think in the 16-7, which was there for you, but 3 of those 7 losses are to the Chiefs, and everyone else that loses to the Chiefs, we say we can't hold against them. They lose to the Chiefs. But I also think, Brew, it is noteworthy when I say he got hurt. If we just remind you what happened, which was the first thing that happened was this play that in real time it looked like he was done for the year. We can show it to you again. And then when he, after this play, it was so, I think he was criticized for playing the next week because it was about keeping a consecutive streak,
he had a
start
consecutive
streak alive.
Going.
And then 2 weeks later, we can show the next one, he suffers a concussion and gets pulled out of that game, or misses part of that game, but plays the following week post-concussion. And then after that one, he then, on this play, dislocates his AC joint and finally misses a game. So when folks...
So he missed 1 game.
He played through the ankle injury. He played after the concussion.
He's the only quarterback playing through injury?
No,
I'm just saying these are excuses. I mean, let's just call them what they are.
So you don't think it affected his play?
Maybe, but Justin Herbert played through broken ribs. I mean, a lot of quarterbacks play through injuries. I'm not going to give him a gold star for playing through some injuries.
I'm not asking.
And I'm not going to discount the numbers that he put up.
I'm not giving him gold star. What I'm saying is what you saw was how he was playing, and the team was 8-3, and they were playing for the 1 seed that week. And then those injuries happened, and it fell off. To act like those 2 things aren't correlated events. What I'm telling you, I guess my point is this. I feel like where I stand on Trevor Lawrence is far closer to where the NFL as a whole does than that side of the table, and I think this contract is evidence of that.
Here's what I'll say, and I've always been like, look, he's probably, like if I were running the Jags, yeah, I'm thinking he's probably our guy. But before I give up $275 million, I want to see a longer stretch of great play, like more evidence that he's going to be a star, if not a superstar. And I just don't think we've seen that. Nick, I'll ask you about these guys. Mahomes, Burrow, Lamar, Jalen Hurts even. All right? All those guys, even Jared Goff, in their first 3 years, he's played 3 years, they all had either a Super Bowl appearance or an MVP. All right? Josh Allen had a second-place MVP finish and a conference appearance. I go to Justin Herbert, C.J. Stroud, and even Jordan Love. They had objectively terrific seasons, at least one, within their first 3 years. He has had none of them. Instead, what Trevor Lawrence has is this. Right here.
See.
A blind reveal. Now, who's that?
I didn't want to do it.
These are the best.
I didn't want to do these.
I did. So the guy that's blind, numbers might be slightly better.
Daniel Jones.
Yes.
Yeah.
He has Daniel Jones type numbers. They're almost identical.
All right, well then maybe it'll end up being a bad decision. I'm just
saying I'd like to see, like this year, he's got all the weapons, have a great year, and I'll gladly pay you $300 million.
Okay, but so that's
done.
But say it again.
Well, that's what you wanted to do.
No, I would have waited to see a great season. And if he plays great this year, I can feel better about giving him all the money.
But to be
fair,
I
would gladly give him more.
That is the thing we criticize the Cowboys for, is waiting and waiting and waiting. And 5 for 275 and $55 million a year, because Wilds, they're doing it with 2 years left on his deal. What that means is it's really set cap-wise 7 for 292. So it's an average cap hit over the course of this entire deal